Like, for example, you are criticizing a professor in Juba University, you are criticizing a community leader, you are criticizing a minister of ICT. Make difference between the minister of ICT and the Tanywagatanya are not the same thing.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good afternoon. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The special envoy of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development to the Republic of South Sudan, Ambassador Musa Djama Hali, is in Juba, where he is expected to hold high-level meetings with the government. South Sudanese traders and clearing agents have raised concerns over the imposed handling of their goods outside the port of Mombasa by two companies and the reduction of free storage time from up to 60 days to just 14 days, a move that has significantly increased cost and losses. And the Minister of Wildlife says increased checkpoints will be deployed across Jonglei to help combat poaching and protect wildlife. This is stories and more coming to in this news bulletin with me, Wol Mapal, and now the news in detail. The special envoy of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, to the Republic of South Sudan, Ambassador Musa Djama Hali, is in Juba, where he is expected to hold high-level meetings with the government. Ambassador Musa Djama Hali arrived in Juba yesterday and was warmly received by Ambassador Kurenga Kwe Pachigarang, Director General of Multilateral Relations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. This visit comes amid rising tensions in parts of northern Jonglei, Central Equatoria and Eastern Equatoria, as regional and national actors continue efforts to address insecurity and sustain peace. During his visit, the IGAD Special Envoy is expected to engage senior government officials on issues related to peace, security and regional cooperation, as well as the implementation of key peace agreements. IGAD remains a key regional partner in South Sudan's peace process and has consistently supported dialogue and diplomatic engagement aimed at preventing the escalation of conflict and promoting stability across the country. South Sudanese traders and clearing agents have raised concerns over the imposed handling of their goods outside the port of Mombasa by two companies and the reduction of free storage time from up to 60 days to just 14 days, a move that has significantly increased cost and losses. The new cargo handling policy requires all South Sudan-bound goods to be processed exclusively through outport and compact freight stations CFS. It effectively removed the option for traders to clear cargo directly from the port or choose alternative freight stations. Speaking to radio from Mombasa, South Sudanese clearing agent and freight forwarder Hamid Abdulatif said the policy change followed a directive issued on December 16 instructing that all bulky and used cargo be handled through outer port CFS.
What happened? This work of South Sudan, containers, cars and loose cargo. Before they used to go to every CFS, and when they go to other CFS, there's the advantage of getting more days, like 60 days nomination, and the charges are less. Now, South Sudan government, they appointed two CFS to be given work for South Sudan. That is Autoport and Compact. When we ask them the reasons, they say that's the government who directed them to do it. Now, on 16th of December, the South Sudan government through the National Revenue of South Sudan, they said now there is a new order. All the cargo which is bulky and all the units should go to Autoport CFS. Now our problem, we don't have problem with Autoport CFS, but the problem happens, Autoport CFS, they are giving people 14 days only. After 14 days, you start getting into damage, and they don't give people waivers.
Abdulatif said the imposed arrangement has led to sharp increases in demurrage and storage fees. Clearing a 20-foot container within the 14-day period cost about $380, while a 40-foot container cost around $580. After the free period expires, traders are charged up to $60 per day. He added that costs have further driven up by a requirement that some containers be transported by rail to Nairobi at an additional cost of about $500 per container. According to Abdulatif, many importers struggle to raise taxes and storage fees in US dollars, resulting in cargo being left uncollected and later auctioned.
Because the policy of paying taxes, because you are given 14 days by out-of-port CSS, and you are supposed to pay taxes in dollars. So the client is up and down looking for money to pay taxes. After paying taxes, maybe he has got money and paid maybe after 1 month. After 1 month coming here, in storage charges. You ask out-of-port, wait for me, I remove the goods, they can give you maximum 10%. So clients end up abandoning their goods because they are afraid to pay the storage charges. But when there was no monopoly, people pay individual 60 days and they end up not paying storage charges. So there is this monopoly of CFS which is affecting us. This policy of paying taxes still is affecting business.
Traders are now calling on the South Sudan government to renegotiate the arrangement with Kenyan authorities to allow importers the freedom to choose any CFS and clear cargo directly from the port, similar to the system used for Ugandan cargo.
The best solution is the government of South Sudan should contact the Kenyan government and the cargo of South Sudan to be cleared from the ports, the containers. The cars, these days cars are being cleared from the CFS. But Ugandan cars, they are like 20 CFS. There's Consulate CFS, African Line, there are several. They are giving clients 60 days. So 60 days, clients doesn't get into storage charges. But now the work for South Sudan is going to only take CFS, compact and out of it. When they go there, they're given 14 days. So still the clients, they end up into storage charges. So they should give freedom. Any client can nominate each CFS they want their cars to go to. Containers, they should remain in the post. Because even taking the containers to Nairobi is increasing cost to the business people.
Abdulatif said officials at the Kenya Ports Authority Legal Department acknowledged awareness of the directive, but explained that it originated from high-level government instructions and could not be reversed locally. Importers warned that unless the policy is reviewed, South Sudan's main import route through the port of Mombasa will continue to face rising cost, delays and mounting business losses. Efforts to contact authorities in Juba were not successful. However, in earlier December, South Sudanese Minister of Trade and Industry Wol Mapal met with key stakeholders to address disruptions at the port of Mombasa caused by an alleged illegal fee imposed on containers destined for South Sudan. She said the meeting sought to uncover the root causes of the disruptions and reaffirmed our ministry's commitment to protecting traders from unauthorized charges. The Minister of Wildlife says increased checkpoints will be deployed across Jonglei to help combat poaching and protect wildlife. Lieutenant General Kamis Adiangding, the Director General of the National Wildlife Service, said this during an inspection on Saturday. According to him, all vehicles, including cars and motorbikes, will be checked for violations of wildlife laws, including the transport of wildlife meat or other animal products. He stressed that wildlife officers should observe human rights during inspections, treating individuals with humanity while enforcing the law. General Adiang warns violators will be transferred to the police for investigation. He also said the ministry plans to establish more checkpoints in Jonglei and Bor to reduce smuggling of wildlife products. Officer spoke on State TV SSBC yesterday.
Stop anybody passing through here, either by motorbike or vehicle, to inspect and see whether he's carrying some bushmeat or wildlife violation items. So it is meant, but we still talk to the rangers here that they should observe the human rights. You see, human rights. But in even inspection, you don't be as if you are so rude to that person. What we are looking for items that are being poached or being killed somewhere. So we don't have any problem with that person. We just take him to the police for the investigation, and we hope we will increase more checkpoints to try to reduce the illicit trade of wildlife meat in Jungule or Border specification.
Since 2018, South Sudan has banned all forms of wildlife hunting and commercial trade in wildlife products, including meat and trophies. Despite these regulations, poaching and illegal bushmeat trade continue to threaten species such as elephants, giraffes, and antelopes. This is IRD News. The African Development Bank has warned that slow and bureaucratic procurement process could delay the $189 million upgrade of the Kenya-South Sudan road corridor. That is according to a report by Business Daily Africa. The 183.4-kilometer project, to be implemented in 3 lots, is intended to reduce travel time for heavy trucks and boost cross-border trade between the two countries. The bank cautions that delays in hiring consultants and finalizing construction contracts could also push back linked infrastructure such as one-stop border post and road safety facilities, creating knock-on effects that may disrupt the overall project timeline and its financing. AFDB's concern is significant because the corridor is more than a transport upgrade. It's a key trade-enabling route for the region. South Sudan relies heavily on Kenyan import channels, but poor road conditions, particularly during the rainy season, often makes sections impassable, raising logistics costs and undermining supply chain reliability for fuel, consumer goods, and other essential imports. Kenya, as the larger exporter, stands to gain disproportionately if the corridor becomes faster and more predictable, especially one-stop border post reduce clearance delays at crossing points. To prevent procurement delays from becoming the main bottleneck, AFDB is hedging tighter execution discipline, including the use of a procurement tracking dashboard and more frequent progress reviews. The bank has reportedly highlighted June 2026 as a critical milestone, signaling that while financing is in place, the pace of implementation will determine whether the road delivers near-term trade gains or becomes another long-delayed regional infrastructure project. Elsewhere, the Bank of South Sudan is holding discussions with the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates on the introduction of a domestic card scheme as part of efforts to modernize the country's financial and payment systems. According to a statement posted on the official Facebook page of the Bank of South Sudan, the 3-day meeting in Juba focuses on advancing the implementation of a domestic card scheme for South Sudan, strengthening the national payment system, improving transaction efficiency and security, and expanding digital financial services. The Director for National Payment System at the Bank of South Sudan, Mr. Akum David Sabakir, said the engagement is expected to lead the establishment and operation of a domestic card switch to strengthen the country's financial infrastructure. The discussions are a continuation of a memorandum of understanding signed in August 2025 between the Bank of South Sudan and the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates to enhance cooperation in payment systems, security printing, and financial technology. Under the MOU, the Central Bank of the UAE agreed to support South Sudan through innovative security printing solutions for banknotes via its subsidiary, Omolat, and to assist in developing a domestic payment card system through Al Ittihad Payments. The agreement provides for a 2-day phase approach, with the first phase focusing on switching and processing payment card transactions within South Sudan in line with international standards, and the second phase aimed at developing local infrastructure to process card transactions domestically. The MOU also includes the exchange of information and expertise, as well as technical support and training for Bank of South Sudan staff in banking supervision and monetary operations through programs offered by the Emirates Institute of Finance. At the signing of the MOU in Abu Dhabi in August 2025, UAE Central Bank Governor Khalid Mohammed Balama said the agreement reflected a shared commitment to strengthening financial cooperation between the two countries. Former Bank of South Sudan Governor Dr. Addis Ababa Otho had said the agreement would help deepen economic partnership and advance financial services in South Sudan. And finally, about 3,000 patients in Terekeka County, Central Equatorial State have received medical treatment during a 3-day free medical camp organized by the South Sudan Doctors Union. The medical camp kicked off on Friday and concluded on Sunday, 25th January 2026. The health camp brought a diverse team of medical professionals from Juba, including gynecologists, general surgeons, orthopedic specialists, internal medicine physicians, and dermatologists. Speaking at the conclusion of the camp in Terekeka County, Dr. Zakaria Jack, chairperson of the South Sudan's Doctors Union, said the camp treated about 3,000 patients. He added that the medical camp hit the target it had initially planned for by treating over 2,000 patients.
والليلة اليوم الثالث للغافلة بتاعتنا نحن سعيدين جدا إنه قدرنا نكمل 3 يوم عشان نساعد أهلنا في تركيكا. وفي اليوم الأول شفنا 500 عيان، واليوم الثاني شفنا 1200 عيان، ويوم الليلة شفنا 1400. يعني التوتال كله بصل 3000 وحاجة، وده واحد من التارجت اللي كان كنا من الأول مستهدفينهم. الغافلة كانت تشمل تخصصات كثيرة، منها الجراحة العامة والعظام، الباطنية، نساء وتوليد، جلدية.
The Commissioner of Terekeka County, Dr. Emmanuel Lado, commended the initiative of the Doctors Union in bringing the free medical camp to the area. He emphasized the importance of health localization to ensure that the local population can access essential healthcare services.
alama nusu Terekeka leo ana commissioner Terekeka ما عندي غير انه شكر لان شغل حسب معلومات بتاعي اتحاد الطب بتاع جنوب السودان ما ماشي على غافله الا بدا بتركيكا فليه اختاروا تركيكا اول فاحتمال انه ربنا لما سنه قلوبهم وانه تركيكا يكون priority وده صلوات بتاعنا هنا انه تركيكا يكون priority عندنا خطه بتاعنا انه توتين تاع الصحه تاع علاج يكون في تركيكا. عشان كده كان حاولنا مستشفى ده حولوا له مستشفى بتاع مقاطعة بس في حاجات بسيطة هيكمل. فهنا بنتمنى انه دكاترة ده ربنا يزيدهم صحة ويوفر لهم حاجاتهم كلهم.
This is our Radio Afternoon News, and to the stories making headlines in the region and beyond, here is Ellen Samuel.
Hello and welcome to the update of stories making headlines in the region and across the borders. Dozens of mourners gathered at a sports complex in the South African city of Vereeniging on Sunday to bid farewell to 3 school children killed in a school bus crash. Panyaza Lesufi, the premier of Gauteng province, addressed the crowd saying the tragedy was being mourned not only by the families but by the nation as a whole. We come here hurt, we come here disappointed, we come here disturbed. We come here limping and our emotions drained, he said. Elsewhere, thousands of anti-ICE protesters marched through Minneapolis on Sunday to voice their anger at the fatal shooting of a local man a day earlier. Shut it down, they chanted as many waved signs calling for justice for 37-year-old Alex Pretty, who was shot and killed by a border patrol agent on Saturday morning. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency at ICE, said Pretty was shot after he approached border patrol officers with a gun. Officials did not say if Pretty brandished the weapon or kept it hidden. And finally, U.S. President Donald Trump says his administration is reviewing everything after the fatal shooting by immigration agents of 37-year-old intensive care nurse Alex Pretty in Minneapolis on Saturday. In his comments to to the Wall Street Journal, Trump also indicated that he would eventually withdraw agents from the city, but he did not give a time frame. Protests continued in Minneapolis and other U.S. cities on Sunday as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz warned that America was at an inflection point. The facts around the incident, the second fatal shooting by agents of a U.S. citizen in recent weeks, have been hotly contested, setting up a fresh confrontation between state and federal officials. Those are some of the stories making headlines in the international arena. Back to you, Wol Mapal. Back to you.
Thanks, Samuel, for the regional and international stories. And now to the world of sports. In the South Sudan Premier League, Al Mariek Bentiu strengthened their lead at the top of the table with a convincing 4-0 victory over Lion Hunter Yei. The match also marked the appearance of the youngest player in the competition, 15-year-old midfielder Thijin Malaya Pichichang of Al Mariek Bentiu, while Keir Mangar of Al Mariek SC delivered an outstanding performance and was named man of the match. In today's fixture, Al Hilal Wow, who sit second from bottom, face Al Malikia. Hilal Wow will be looking to move away from the relegation zone after bolstering their squad with several new signings, while Al Malikia aim to close the gap on the teams at the top of the table. Matthias Cunha struck a dramatic late winner as Manchester United estued Premier League leaders Arsenal in a thrilling 5-goal contest at the Emirates Stadium. The defeat marked Arsenal's first home loss of the season and combined with victories for title rivals Manchester City and Aston Villa, so their lead at the top of the table reduced to 4 points. Arsenal had started brightly and took the lead in the 29th minute when Manchester United defender Lisandro Martinez turned the ball into his own net. Elsewhere, Amine Hadil scored a stoppage time winner to end Liverpool's much unbeaten run as Bournemouth claimed a dramatic victory at the Vitality Stadium. Following a goal-mouth scramble, Hardy finished in the 5th minute of added time, sparking wild celebrations among the home supporters after Liverpool had earlier fought back from 2 goals down to draw level. Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr said his team won a bizarre, sad game at the Minnesota Timberwolves in a sombre atmosphere after the fatal shooting of an intensive care nurse by immigration agents in Minneapolis. The death of 37-year-old Alex Pretty on Saturday was the second time in less than a month an American citizen has been killed by federal agents in the city, and has sparked angry protests both locally and in other parts of the U.S. The Timberwolves held a minute silence for Pretty before Sunday's game, which was punctuated by anti-immigration and customs enforcement chants from fans. That's all from the world of sports. This is our radio news, and to end this bulletin, here is a quick recap once again. The special envoy of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development to the Republic of South Sudan, Ambassador Musa Jalmahali, is in Juba, where he is expected to hold high-level meetings with the government. South Sudanese traders and clearing agents have raised concerns over the imposed handling of their goods outside the port of Mombasa by 2 companies, and the reduction of free storage time from up to 60 days to just 14 days, a move that has significantly increased cost and losses. And finally, the Ministry of Wildlife says increased checkpoints will be deployed across Jonglei to help combat poaching and protect wildlife. That is the end of iRadio News. If there is a story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also listen to us online by logging on to our website www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I've been your news anchor, Wol Mapal. Till next time, goodbye and thanks for listening.